Here's your wrestling news for September 14th, 2022, and we're kicking off today with AEW as the company is missing some of their biggest names. Following the events of All Out, Tony Khan took the difficult decision to suspend Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and others, while CM Punk's status with the company remains unconfirmed. No one involved with the post-All Out fight was on last week's programming, and that will be the same tonight. In an update from PW Insider, it's reported that barring some last-minute change, anyone currently suspended from AEW won't be at tonight's Dynamite, and that the company is waiting until the third-party investigation is complete before bringing anyone back. In addition to Omega and the Bucks, that means that Punk, Ace Steel, producer Pat Buck, head of talent relations Christopher Daniels, Brandon Cutler, and Michael Nakazawa will also not be making appearances. This shouldn't be too much of a problem for Punk, who is out with another injury and wouldn't be competing for at least another 6 to 8 months, even if he wasn't in serious hot water at this time. Tonight's show will instead focus on the AEW World Title Elimination Tournament, with Jon Moxley facing Sammy Guevara, while Chris Jericho faces Bryan Danielson in the semifinals. The show will also feature interim AEW Women's World Champion Toni Storm team with Hikaru Shida to face Britt Baker and Serena Deeb, but don't expect the Elite, CM Punk, or anyone else caught in the all-out fight on the show. There's no word on when the Elite or the others who were suspended will be back, but don't expect them back anytime soon. AEW's next pay-per-view will be Full Gear and take place in November, and on AEW's website, a new updated version of the poster for the show has been revealed. The new poster has seen Omega, the Bucks, and CM Punk all removed, implying that none of them will be back before the November 19th show. In the case of Punk, he may not be back at all, as reports have suggested that he could be fired for instigating the fight if he's not been fired already. The change in poster also protects AEW from being accused of false advertising, as fans know who to expect at Full Gear, and more importantly, who not to expect. Full Gear will be the final pay-per-view of what has been a strange year for AEW, but don't expect many of the company's top stars to be there. Last night's episode of NXT 2.0 marked the one-year anniversary of the show's relaunch, and the brand celebrated it with a brand new champion being crowned. This week, Solo Sikoa made his return to NXT mere days after his call-up to SmackDown and captured the North American title. Carmelo Hayes was originally set to face Wes Lee on the show, but Lee was taken out during a backstage segment. After an intensely physical match, the Street Champion became the North American Champion with a huge splash from the top rope, marking his first title in WWE. With Sikoa having been moved to SmackDown after Clash of the Castle, it'll be interesting to see how he fares as NXT's North American Champion, but now the Bloodline has added another championship title to their family. Earlier this year, Nash Carter was released from WWE after a series of allegations made by his then-wife, Kimber Lee. While WWE reportedly did not find the claims credible, the decision was made to axe Carter when images of him parodying Adolf Hitler were shared by Lee. Fans of Carter and his tag team MSK retorted by making the Justice for Nash Carter hashtag, which was trending during last night's episode of NXT 2.0. While Nash wasn't referenced on the show, it's likely fans were discussing him because his former tag partner Wes Lee was involved on the show, being attacked backstage by Carmelo Anthony and Trick Williams. After his release, which also saw Carter be pulled from WWE 2K22, Nash released a statement expressing regret for his actions in the photo, though many have accused Kimber Lee of faking the claims she made. While some fans may want to see Nash Carter back, that ship may have sailed, but that won't stop a lot of people calling for justice for the former NXT Tag Team Champion. As we mentioned earlier, NXT 2.0 celebrated their one-year anniversary last night and did so with a unique end to the show. After an action-packed event, NXT 2.0 ended with a voiceover from Shawn Michaels and the colorful NXT 2.0 logo being replaced by a new design, one that is black and yellow like the original NXT. It's been reported that Triple H was not a fan of the NXT 2.0 creative direction at first, and on Twitter reacted to the change saying, "We are NXT." The new logo, in addition to being more like the past design, also ditches the 2.0 part of the brand, as the show will just be known as NXT moving forward. The new NXT logo was also featured around the arena, but interestingly, on the stage, the logo was put over the paint-splattered backdrop of NXT 2.0 rather than an entirely new design. For the entire run of NXT 2.0, there were fans who had called on the show to go back to how it was, and we'll have to see what the future holds for NXT now that those fans have gotten their wish. During this week's Raw, Io Sky and Dakota Kai captured the WWE Women's Tag Team titles in a huge moment for both women. Now the Damage Control members hold the championships, but they may not be holding those specific titles for much longer. According to Belt Fan Dan, a reliable source when it comes to all things championship, the WWE Women's Tag Team titles will be getting a redesign with a colored strap once again. It's not clear what color the belts will be, but Dan also reported that WWE has plans for new designs for the men's tag team titles. Those titles were described as being the existing design, dual-plated, black strap, and having a stacked, large WWE logo in the center. We don't know for sure when WWE will introduce the new title designs, but they are coming, bringing a new look to the WWE's main roster tag division. According to WrestleVotes, the situation with undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns is complex, as WWE wants to go into WrestleMania with two champions, but also doesn't want Roman Reigns to lose at all between now and WrestleMania, with "at all" being emphasized. Citing a source, WrestleVotes says that WWE Chief Content Officer Triple H and his team are open to all things creatively here. Reigns has been WWE Universal Champion since August 2020, an unprecedented 741-day reign. Reigns unified that title with the WWE Championship in April by defeating then WWE Champion Brock Lesnar in the main event of the second night of WrestleMania 38. There has been speculation that Reigns will be facing his cousin Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson at WrestleMania 39. The match has even been teased on Johnson's NBC sitcom Young Rock, but Johnson's schedule continues to fill up between his acting career and being a co-owner of the third iteration of the XFL. Johnson has been so busy that he even turned down hosting the Emmy Awards, which aired on Monday. There had been speculation that Cody Rhodes could be the one to challenge and eventually dethrone Reigns. Rhodes suffered a torn pectoral muscle in June, but could be back in time for the 2023 Royal Rumble in January. On the contrary, Zero News has now added to this and reported that one of the ideas floating around is to have a tournament for a new WWE champion by the Day 1 Premium Live event. The report further added that the Tribal Chief may be forced to vacate the WWE Championship. We've already seen Reigns miss Premium Live events like Hell in a Cell and Money in the Bank earlier this year, and is now also set to miss the upcoming WWE Extreme Rules 2022. Let's see how WWE books Roman Reigns. What do you think of this whole situation? Sound off in the comments below. Things aren't only changing when it comes to title belts, as one of WWE's biggest stars has officially undergone a change of character. PW Insider has learned that internally, Kevin Owens is listed as a babyface at WWE despite spending the majority of his run with the company as a heel. Owens has always had some cheers, so fans appreciate his in-ring work and ability to adapt to different situations, including his work in the Ezekiel storyline earlier this year. Just a few weeks ago, Owens returned to the prizefighter character he had back in NXT and has been facing off with the likes of Theory and Chad Gable since then. The biggest test of Owens' face turn will be whether he can win over Sami Zayn, who has been with the Bloodline for months now. Whatever happens, Owens is officially a babyface once again, so we imagine it may be a matter of time before he steps back in the ring with Roman Reigns. It's hardly a secret that AEW allows their talent to work with certain other promotions, and now one of their stars will be making a big appearance outside the company. This Friday, AEW's living dead girl Abadon will compete for Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, as confirmed by the Japanese promotion. Abadon's first TJPW appearance will also be the first wrestling match of her career to take place in Japan, or outside of the United States altogether, and arguably her most high-profile match of her career. With it being in nearly a year since Abadon's last televised AEW match, this is a huge deal for Abadon, and given that it's part of the TJPW Shinjuku tournament, could be the first of several matches for her overseas. We've got some concerning news from Marty Jannetty now, who is back in the hospital. On Facebook, the former WWE Intercontinental Champion confirmed that he will need surgery on his right ankle, but at least saw the funny side, saying that he injured it by putting his foot up people's rear ends. This isn't the first time Jannetty has been in the hospital, as he struggled with his health over the years and has asked Diamond Dallas Page for help in the past. Hopefully, Jannetty can make a speedy recovery, as while he may have a history of controversial comments on social media, we're sending our best to the former superstar. When CM Punk was injured earlier this year, AEW turned to Jon Moxley to fill in as interim world champion, showing how much faith they have in the former Dean Ambrose. On last week's Dynamite, the first show after All Out, Moxley was again relied upon to steer the ship with a passionate promo about the AEW World Championship and his desire to become champion again. Moxley has certainly proven himself to be reliable, and when his friend Robert Anthony spoke to the Tyrus and Timph podcast, he mentioned how AEW's backstage issues forced Moxley's plans to change. So he's doing good, man. He was supposed to be on vacation. 6 weeks we were gonna go fishing, now he's back to work. He's not too happy about it, but seeing him in his element, working, it's a different beast. The way his mind works, I enjoyed his match at the pay-per-view, but yeah, he's pissed off and he's back at work. He cut a hell of a promo on Wednesday, and we'll see where it goes. A lot of negatives into positives over there, I feel like. In addition to all he's been doing on TV, Moxley has also become a locker room leader and led a meeting with talent last week, which helped boost morale. Moxley is already a two-time AEW World Champion and could soon have a third reign to his name, but if so, we imagine he won't be going on that fishing trip for a very long time. And we're ending today with Roman Reigns, and years before he was the tribal chief, the big dog gave a tease of what he was going to become. In 2017, Reigns feuded with John Cena, and during an episode of Raw, had an intense promo in which Reigns blanked out for a couple of seconds. Leaping on this, Cena mocked Reigns for the freeze, and during an appearance on the Impulsive podcast, Reigns said that the experience made him better. I think just being in that position and going through that experience made me better. I don't think it was anything like John specifically, you know what I mean? Reigns' experience with Cena taught him that he can't afford to have blank moments on WWE TV, and that he always needs to be working towards something, either in the ring or on the mic. Cena may have found this incident funny, but it was Reigns who'd have the last laugh, beating John at that year's No Mercy pay-per-view, making Big Match John one of several megastars who'd fall to the man we know today as the head of the table. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.